So this is chapter two, part two. I'm sorry, of my bankruptcy. If you watch my first video, I go into examples of not examples how I was guided into the direction of going into bankruptcy and the reasons why. So now we're in part two. I'm gonna explain to you which chapter I filed for. Basically, I was in so much debt just from going through the things I went through financially, coming from doing renovation and going through like skyrocketing my finances to the point where as though I just couldn't move forward. But along with that, I needed the phone calls to stop. So my next step was I scheduled an appointment with a lawyer, a bankruptcy lawyer that's dealing with nothing but bankruptcies. That's what you want to do your first step. Talk to them. They're going to guide you into the direction of everything that you're going to need in order for the bankruptcy so you can know which chapter you qualify for. Number one key when you're going into the bankruptcy, you're not going to know what you're going to be able to apply for because in your mind, you might think that, yo, I'm going to file for a seven and I'm going to wipe my debt. No, it's not that clean. Like you're not gonna be able to just walk away just like that. It depends on your circumstances. If you have nothing, say for instance you have nothing, chapter seven can end up saving you from all your debts because you have nothing really of leverage. If you don't have anything of leverage, it's a little bit tougher now to be able to file for a chapter 7. It depends on what you have. If you have a home that have a lot of equity in it and you have a lot of debt, most likely they're going to try to go after your home in order to resolve that debt. But in my case, I was able to protect my property off of my chapter that I filed for, which was a chapter seven. Chapter seven is the one I filed. I'm gonna say that I I end up going in for the chapter seven, and the reason why I filed for a chapter seven because it's going to give me a clean slate, and it was and I was able to save my property. One of the reasons why that I was able to save my property was because I did not have a lot of equity in my property. So that actually helped me more so hurt me. A lot of times when you look at your place of stay or your residence, you might look at your what you owe on the house, and you'll probably try to compare it to other homes and whatnot. But mine fell under a different guideline because it's an apartment. So when I end up filing for that, I did not have a lot of equity in the home because of, I guess, the old appraised value. It it played in my favor. So when I filed for that, the process is the phone calls stop. You get no more phone calls. They stop. From that point on, you're just giving them all the information that they ask for, which is bank statements. What else? Bank statements. Your pay every time you get paid. You send that over. What else? Oh, and you stop spending on your credit cards. Reason why I tell you that is because if you keep spending on your credit cards, it's going to send a red alert. It's going to send a red flag. And the reason why it's a red flag is because if you file for chapters, you file for bankruptcy, and you got to look at it like this: you're not being slick, and the courts are not going to play with you. If you file for bankruptcy and they look and see that you still had a credit card open, think about this. What happens is it takes a while for the credit card companies to catch up to speed to your bankruptcy because they might not have responded to it yet. But once they respond to it, your credit cards are going to become null and void. Like you will not be able to use them again. They're going to close the account. Reason why is because you're in bankruptcy, which means you're resolved of your debt. Um, and that's talking about 7 or 13. I can't speak for the other ones. I could just speak of 7 and 13. And I talk about the 13 after I finish talking about this. But when the banks start looking at, not the banks, when the courts start looking at your spending on the credit cards afterwards, they'll notice that, wait a minute, you filed for bankruptcy, but you still was using your credit cards, charging things up, so you can walk away scot free from free merchandise. Literally, that is what you did. So if you're thinking that you getting over, you can end up playing yourself to the point your bankruptcy could be canceled. And the reason why, because the judge is looking at your bankruptcy and they're approving everything. So the debt collectors are off of your back and you're basically wiped. But at the same time of you wiping your slate, remember something. If you don't have anything, this is another thing you have to also think of too. Having a lot of debt is one thing, but if you're not able to pay it back, that's another. Another thing is if you do have money coming in, but you're struggling in paying that debt back and you able to wipe your slate clean of a chapter 7, what tends to happen is once you file for chapter 7, you still were able to live life comfortable like you was as if you never had debt before. The reason why I say that is because you still have a home, you still have a vehicle in most cases to get back and forth to work. You just don't have the debt over here, the credit card debt and accounts that were open that you had to make a payment to. So when you look at that, you'll have to say to yourself, all right, now that this is a fresh start, you should be able to start being a lot more appropriate with your funds, like the way you spend your money, uh, the way you go about life when it comes to the finances, the way you go about credit cards. You have to respect the credit cards. You have to, because if you don't respect them, you will end up going in. You will end up being in a bad financial situation, such as I was. Only difference is, mine was investment, so it was something that it just skyrocketed out of control. It happens to the best. If it didn't, it wouldn't be so many bankruptcy attorneys out here and busy. Because remember, we definitely are going through bad times, and but it doesn't justify reckless spending. Reckless spending put people in such a bad predicament to the point you will lose it. You will lose it. You're going to lose sleep because the one thing about when you going into when you in debt like that and you're close to going into bankruptcy or you thinking about it, what happened is you get up in the morning, you got phone calls just coming in, coming in, coming in, and what tends to happen is they don't wait. They start calling you damn near at 8 o'clock in the morning. I got a phone call. I don't know where they was at, but it was damn near 7:55. I'm like, damn. But at the same time, hey, you owe money. Only problem is you just can't pay it back because you're in a you're in a bad position. And normally when you're in a bad position like that, um, your stress level is going to be sky high. And not only that, it's going to be hard for you to actually move forward. So you have to do something to resolve this debt. And you can't just walk around here thinking everything is sweet and cool and you're just going to go about your day because what's going to happen is it happened to me. I actually had my bank account garnished. Um, that was really what led me into actually filing because when they froze my well, they didn't freeze my bank account. How can I put it? It's not closed, but if you put any money in there, it's getting swiped. They actually drained my bank account zero. They took. I had a couple I had a nice amount in there, not a lot, but a nice amount, and they swiped all of it. I found out when I got up in the morning time, and next thing you know, I was receiving phone calls from the bank. Now, anybody knows if you're getting phone calls from your bank, something's wrong. Banks normally don't call you unless it's out of like they can call you off of fraud or anything, but they call at least I believe maybe 3 times, and I'm like, damn, the bank call, but I ain't pick up because I'm just like, they leave a message, and when they left that message, boy, 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 you know it ain't good because they don't quite tell you what it is. They let you know it is urgent that you call such and such back, which is the bank. And when you call them back, you get on the phone, and then what tends to happen is they looking at your account, you on the phone quiet, like everything okay. They say, all right, we're about to transfer you to such and such department, and you sitting on the phone not understanding what's going on. And then next thing you know, they come in and they let you know, hey, how you doing? It's been your bank account has been garnished of funds due to a debt collector. You know right then and there. Damn. But that end up happening when you are reckless and you tend to ignore the the mail. And you know what I'm talking about. They just can't take money out of your account. They literally take money out of your account off of the negligence of you just not following up on their response to their letters. Because remember, they send you multiple letters. And when they send you letters, they're looking for a response. And if you don't give a response, it's as if you just faded off into air and you chose not to just say anything. You just chose to basically look at your debt and say, hey, I ain't doing nothing about it. Come get me. And what they do is they're going to come and get you. They're going to go here to court, which means you did receive financial, not financial statements. You did get served. You got served. Which I'm to blame. And what happened is I chose this. Hey, come get me, and they did. And what happened is didn't go to court. And actually, wake up. It might take a month. Might take I don't know how long, but you're not going to notice because you didn't follow up. So when you don't follow up, you're not waking up every day thinking that you're going to get got. And that's what happened. And that's what forced me right into chapter 7. Because after that, I knew right then and there I had no choice. I'm just a man on the top of a mountain looking to just jump with no type of landing gear. So, right then and there, I messed up. And from that point on, that's when you have to file. Because there's no going back now. And that's how I end up going right into chapter 7. All right. And on my third video, part 3, I'm going to also go into what happened after I filed my chapter 7. Once my chapter 7 went through and I started living my life after my chapter 7. All right.